Hi guys, and welcome to the Electro Bass sound tutorial. A while ago I uploaded a video of my massive preset pack of electro sounds where you had the chance to vote in a section that you want to have a tutorial about. So as you can see here down the comment section, most of the people voted on section 7. So I'm going to show you how to create this kind of cool electro bass sound in Ableton and in Massive. And this is the bass sound I am talking about. Okay, if you dig this, please head over to Loopmaster's site, search after my massive preset Patchworks pack and purchase it. I am sure you will love it. It's very cool, very harsh, very rusty, very electric. But right now I'm going to show you this kind of bass sound, which is a 3-layer bass sound. The first layer sounds this, which is a kind of sub bass sounds, well, not very subby, but a very filtered kind of bass sound. Of course, the whole sound is side chained, and the second layer is a little rustier bass sound. And the third one is a kind of lead sound. So, right now, let's create the sound in Massive. Right now, let's create the filtered bass sound in Massive. So I've opened up a new instance of Massive. We are going to need all the 3 oscillators, so pull up the volume of them. The first should be a smooth square oscillator. Pull up the wavetable position to 100, the intensity down to 0, and tune the oscillator to -12. On the second oscillator, use a sine square oscillator and leave the wavetable to the sine wave and tune the oscillator down to -24. On the third oscillator, choose additive mix 5 and tune the wavetable position to about 11 o'clock. The intensity, just pull down the knob a little and tune the oscillator down to -12. And route all the oscillators to filter 1. And the filter 1, choose scream and pull up the cutoff to about, about 9 o'clock. The scream up to about 1 o'clock and the resonance to about 2:30. On the second oscillator, choose band reject, pull up the cutoff to about 2:30. And the bandwidth and the resonance, don't touch them, they will be alright. And pull up the mix 1 and 2 fader just a little bit. And on the modulation section, the ring mod and the phase should be on oscillator 2, and just pull up a little, not very much, but only just a little. On the noise tab, pull up the color and add a very small amount of noise. Don't touch the feedback, but on the insert 1, choose bit crusher, pull up the dry and wet, and the crash to 100 again. On the insert 2, choose sine, I can find a sine shaper, sorry. Pull up the dry and wet to about 10 o'clock and the drive up to its maximum. So, oh yeah, sorry, on the FX2, choose a small reverb and add a very small amounts of reverb, and on the EQ, enable the EQ, pull up the low shelf to a little, push down the boost a little, adjust as well the frequency, and the high shelf a little up again. So right now, yeah, the sound is just the same as you may heard in the beginning of the video. So for this, the first layer has been done. Let's create another MIDI channel and drop massive onto it. And right now we are creating the second layer. So on the first oscillator, choose smooth square again. Pull up the wavetable to square, pull down the intensity down, and tune the oscillator to -12. On the second oscillator, choose sine and triangle, pull down the intensity to about 10 o'clock, pull up the amplitude, and tune the oscillator down to about -24, but not exactly to its place. Pull down a little to about -23 and 91. And on the second oscillator, sorry, the third oscillator, pull up the volume, of course, and choose again additive mix 5, and pull up the wavetable to about 11 o'clock, and tune down the oscillator to -12. Use the same modulation oscillator settings just before. And the filter should be scream again, and filter 2 should be band reject again. Use the same filter sections, but right now we are not going to filter the sound that much. Use the same band reject filter, pull up the routings to go to filter 1, and pull up again the mix 1 and 2. What's that? Fader. Yeah. And on the second FX channel, you should enable a very small amount of reverb again. And on EQ, you should add some small amounts of high frequencies, just the same as before. Pull up the low shelf, pull down the boost and the frequency, and the high shelf up a little. And let's see the routings again. It must be the same just before. Feedback, insert 2 should be here, and yep, I think it should be okay right now. So let's check again. Okay, it's cool. So let's see if I missed something, but as I can see, I haven't missed anything. So this was layer 2, and let's create finally layer 3. Create another MIDI channel, drop massive onto it, and right now on layer 3, on the first oscillator, we use again sine and square. Tune down the oscillator to -24 and 10, and the wavetable position down to the sine wavetable. On oscillator 2, pull up the amplitude, choose square, and okay, you use the default one, and tune down just a little bit, down to minus 0.04. Okay, that should be cool. And on oscillator 3 you should use square, and the default one again, pull up the volume, but right now the intensity pull down to about 10 o'clock and the wavetable to the saw wave, and tune up the oscillator to 12. Right now the filter routing should go on oscillator on oscillator 1 should go to filter 2, on oscillator 2 to filter 2 again, and on oscillator 3 tune about or set about to this position, and the filter 1 should be low pass 4. Yeah, and pull up the cutoff, and oscillator 2, filter 2 should be scream again, pull up the cutoff, and you should leave scream where it is and use a very small amount of resonance to about 10 o'clock. And white noise again, pull up its feedback, you should use a heavy amount of feedback. On insert 1 choose clipper, hard clipper, yep. Pull up the dry and wet and the drive to about this position. Insert 2, use sine shaper again, just a small amount, and a very small amount of drive. Okay, so right now let's see the routing, because that is a very important part of massive setting patches. Okay, this will be cool. Please follow my settings. It's hard to describe where to click on this on this routing tab, but on the first FX channel or for first FX tab, use classic tube, pull up the dry and wet, pull up the drive, and on the second click on EQ, pull up the high shelf, pull up the frequency, the boost and the low shelf. And on the second FX channel I used a small amount of phaser, a very small amount of phaser. So pull up the dry and wet, and that should be okay. So the sound should sound this. Tune the cutoff to your taste, and when you're done, just use one of my MIDI files from my pack, or you can use your own melodies, your own MIDI files, and when you're done, group them. Push Ctrl G, and if you want, use a side chain with the compressor. Click on this little triangle, click sidechain, and choose one of your sidechain audio or something which has a pumping kick drum or something. Use that channel, and when you're done, your bass sound should pump as hell. So I hope this tutorial was helpful for you guys, and see you next time.